This video is brought to you by Squarespace.
Language learning doesn't have to be difficult. With just a few simple habits, you can simplify your language learning experience and have time to practice the language, even if that day you're extremely busy. Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Here I talk about language learning and share my journey learning English, Spanish, and ASL. The first habit I benefited a lot from is habit stacking. Habit stacking is a simple but powerful technique for building new habits by adding them onto your existing ones. The idea is that you use a habit you already do regularly as a cue to remind you to do a habit that you want to form. Imagine you have a habit of brushing your teeth every single morning. I hope you guys do have this habit. You want to start learning a new language, but you often don't have enough time. With habit stacking, you can make language learning part of your morning routine by doing it right after you brush your teeth. So in this case, your stacked habit would be brushing teeth, language app. Here are some other examples of habit stacking. Your habit might be drinking coffee in the morning, and your stacked habit is listening to a language learning podcast while drinking coffee. Your habit might be taking a shower in the evening, and your stacked habit is reviewing flashcards or practicing vocabulary in the shower. Let's say your habit is watching TV before bed. Your stacked habit might be reading a book in the language you're learning before or after watching TV. And then finally, your habit is going for a walk during lunch break. So your stacked habit might be listening to an audio lesson or practicing pronunciation while walking. The way I personally practice habit stacking is every single time I cook, I listen to a podcast in the language that I want to practice. Right now, most often than not, I do it in Spanish because I'm spending a lot of time to really improve my Spanish right now. So every time I cook dinner, I turn on a podcast in Spanish or maybe a YouTube video in Spanish, and I cook and I listen to something in Spanish at the same time. So for me, this way, my habit is cooking dinner because I know that it's important for me and I know that I already do it. And my stacked habit is watching a YouTube video in Spanish. The second habit that I implemented that has benefited me a lot in terms of my language learning is Googling everything in a foreign language. I think it's a very powerful habit and it won't take a lot of your time at all. Every time you want to find some information, Google something, use your target language instead of your native language. My native language is Russian, so of course it's a lot easier for me to just Google "Почему киты такие большие?" instead of do it in English. Why are whales so big? Or even better in Spanish, ¿Por qué las ballenas son tan grandes? And voila, I have this article from National Geographic and a 5-minute TED Talk I could check out and learn all the information I was looking for anyway. But do it in Spanish, right? Instead of in English, instead of in Russian, because I know that in these two languages, I feel very comfortable. Like if I read an article on why whales are so big in English, I'm probably not gonna memorize any new vocabulary, but in Spanish, I definitely am. And you guys can do the same thing with any language you're learning. Another great way to use any foreign language as a tool is to blog in this language and use it to sell your products and services. Here's where Squarespace comes in, because with its help, you can create your own website with powerful blogging and e-commerce features. My own website is created on Squarespace too, and it was so easy for me to do. I created my own website from scratch, completely by myself on Squarespace. On Squarespace, you can choose from a variety of professional templates tailored to different purposes. You can customize the look, update content, and add features to suit your needs. And just with a few clicks, your website will be transformed completely. Squarespace's Fluent engine makes it simple for anyone to unleash their creativity. You can start with a top-notch template and easily customize every design detail using intuitive drag-and-drop technology for both desktop and mobile. You can add pictures and information about yourself, your products, and your services. Squarespace is perfect if you're a language teacher, for example, and are thinking of creating your own website to get new students. You can also drive sales and engage your audience with Squarespace email campaigns. Just collect email subscribers on your website and build connections with them through regular email updates. And with Squarespace's analytics, you can see useful insights insights to grow your business, like where your site's visits and sales are coming from. If you want to create your own website too, head to squarespace.com/Veronika to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain by using my code Veronika. Habit number 3 that is extremely beneficial for my language learning right now is writing down all the new words. I encounter new words all the time in every single language I'm learning. Even though I think my English is very good already, a few days ago I was reading a book and learned these two cool words: to shortchange someone and to be frazzled. And I was like, oh, these words are so cool. I absolutely have to write them down. So what I do in these situations is I save all the words to my phone to my Notion page, because I use Notion for everything, for my work, for my studying. So what I do is I have a Notion page, I open it and I just save all the words. You know, I don't think about it too much. I learned a new word like to be frazzled or to shortchange someone. Type it, save it, done. I have a lot of work every day, so I only have time to create good flashcards out of these words on the weekend, and that's exactly what I do. This helps me memorize words and later use them in conversations. So Monday through Friday, I'm just collecting all of this new vocabulary, right? And when it's Sunday or Saturday, when I have enough time, I just transfer everything to Anki, I create good quality flashcards, and I memorize all these words the next week. The next habit that I have right now is kinda connected to habit stacking, but basically I don't start work before I review all of my Anki cards. We talked about habit stacking, so this next habit is kinda like this. Before I finish X, I won't start doing Y. I work from Monday to Friday, so I decided to tie my flashcards review to my work because it's extremely easy to do. I work 5 days a week. And on the weekend, I give myself a little time off. I always say that Anki and their spaced repetition technology has changed the way I approach language learning. And I have already tested the system with such different languages as Chinese, English, Spanish, and ASL. And it works perfectly with every single language, allowing me to memorize new vocabulary. So I wake up, I do all of my morning routine things, and then before I'm about to start working, my computer is already open, right? So I just click on Anki, I review my flashcards. It takes, I would say, 5 to 10 minutes. It's not a lot of time, believe me. And then I start working. And the final habit that I absolutely love is I learn grammar when necessary. I only learn grammar when I feel like I need this specific rule and when I feel confident that I can use it myself. I personally believe that asking yourself these two questions is paramount. The first one is, do you actually need the specific grammar rule? Because there are a lot of complicated grammar rules out there, and quite frankly, we don't use a lot of the grammar we learn. And the second question is, are you confident that you can use this grammar yourself in conversations? If the answer is not, then maybe you need to practice more. You need to understand this grammar more and more. Or maybe you just don't need it. The reason why I decided to use this approach is because it's connected to the cognitive load theory, CLT. A little bit of science for you guys right now. Imagine your brain is like a backpack. Cognitive load theory is like understanding how much stuff you can put in your backpack before it gets too heavy and hard to carry. Basically, how many things you can stuff in your backpack. When you're learning a new language, there are a lot of grammar rules to remember. CLT helps us figure out how to manage all that stuff without overwhelming our brains. The way I apply cognitive load theory to my language learning is by breaking down my learning into smaller, manageable chunks. Instead of trying to learn everything about this one grammar rule at once, you know, all the rules, all the exceptions, all the verbs, absolutely everything. I just focus on this like one specific point, you know, of this grammar rule that I absolutely need to understand right now. I give myself a break when I need it, just like taking a rest when your backpack gets too heavy. So I hope this video was useful. I really hope you learned something new. And I wish you success in your language learning. As a quick reminder, only for you guys, my viewers, if you want to create your own website too, head to squarespace.com/Veronika to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain by using my code Veronika. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you're thinking about what to watch next, I think you're gonna enjoy this video a lot, so make sure to click right here.